Hello everybody and welcome back to another video on my channel. Today's video is going to be a little bit of a review here. You can see that I got a new looking nest here. Pretty nice looking. And I'm hoping to do a little bit of a quick review on this nest. And then moving in this colony here, which is my Camponotus novaborkensis colony. The smaller colony, obviously. The colony that I caught in an anting vid. I did end up actually brood boosting her a second time with a bunch of larvae. And she'll do pretty good. Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to do that. I'm sorry. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, overall, this nest looks relatively nice. You see that it has a little bit of a hydration chamber right here, and the glass is actually removable. Now, I like this nest because of how open this is. This nest is extremely open, and this allows it so that ants like these Camponotus novaborkensis here, to actually fit into this nest rather nicely. Now, also what I like about it is that this glass is very removable. This is a very weird hybrid between a European-style nest and an American-style nest with the glass and everything. So, it's a very weird mold of, the two, which is pretty interesting, I'd say. Now, this nest was given to me by GreatNorthAnts. I'll have his link down in the description here. And he has been working on these nests for a very long time. When I went out anting with him a few days ago, or yesterday, as of recording this, he ended up giving me this nest to review and also to have. A very nice thing for him to do, so go ahead and check out his channel, check out his TikTok. I don't know if I'll get his TikTok down below, but if I do, then go check that out too if you use TikTok. You can see here that this is the hydration chamber. Let me take off the glass real quick. Okay with this is extremely experimental, so it doesn't have this little mesh that's supposed to be here. There's supposed to be like 100 something mesh that's really fine in here, but I do not have that at this current moment, and I will be using it without the mesh, which I don't know if that's a smart idea, but I'm still gonna do it anyways because I mean I really don't think that it's really that important, since the hydration chamber is in its own little thing, and I don't think the workers or anything will go onto it. Rather, they will stay near it. And even if they do, I mean, I don't think it would really exactly harm the brood or anything if it was to be used that way. So, yeah. I guess, we'll see exactly how that works. I'm looking at my text and looking in my room, I found that I have no mesh to cover this little bit up. I'm pretty sure that this bit will be completely okay to just go without it, so I guess I'll be testing that out to see exactly how that goes, because this nest, as I said, is very experimental. It hasn't really been released yet to the public, so it would be interesting to see exactly how this nest will perform, since I think I'm going to be the first actual test for this nest. Now, it's good that the piece here is actually removable, so if I do have issues with it, I can very quickly get that colony out of the nest, but I highly doubt I will because it's a very well put together nest. So yeah. Alright, here comes the next part. This next part is going to be the entrance here. Now, it is a little bit rough on the edges, you can see right there, but I bet that if I just sort of put it in... Oh, it's real tight seal. Yeah, would you look at that? Let's see if I can give you a better angle. That is a really tight seal for that little bit of tubing, which for small ants is good. But something else that might not exactly be good for small ants, which I'll try to showcase, but it's very difficult to see, it's in between. There's a very tiny gap in between here. Yep, there it is. And this very tiny gap, obviously, it doesn't really exactly matter with ants like Camponotus, but if you try to put any other small ant inside of here, it's going to be a lot more difficult, because this small gap may end up causing a good area for escape for ants such as Monomorium minimum, Solenopsis molesta, any Monomorium species in general, and a few others would have a very easy chance of just getting out of here without a problem. But then again, as I said, this is a very experimental nest. It is still very much in testing phases, so I'm pretty much the first person to actually use this nest. on ants, besides from him, I think. But I'm not 100% sure on that. And here's the container. You may have never actually really seen this container before, but this is a very old container that I've used over the past few years. Let me get this out of the way. Hope you heard that. You can see it's a very long container with a very short amount of space for Outworld. I mostly use this for tubs and tubes setup, but I also use it for nests every once in a while. So this small nest is going to be connected to this big nest via a hole here that I've had dug out a very long time ago, and I had to re-secure because I was using it for some species that could escape things very easily. So yeah. Oh yeah, also, I forgot to mention this, but the sponge in here, I just took off like a piece of this. This is like some art form, or like a sponge for art or something like that. Non-toxic at all. So I just decided to use that, and it should work pretty well. Alright, so here comes the part. I'm just going to end up taking this bit out first, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to connect the smaller tube to this tube. Very classic move, like so. And then I'll see if I can do this whilst on camera, because this is very annoying. Oh, yeah, would you look at that? Perfect fit, actually. Never mind. Not annoying at all. Alright. And then I will connect up it to the nest once I end up getting it up there. So, yeah. I guess I'll go ahead and start the move now, and I'll hear back from you guys once I end up putting them into this nest. Why I say it like that, I don't know. Ah, yes, I forgot one part. Hydration. Something that I need right now because my throat is really, really dry. So, I'm just going to take one of my needles here. Not for anything bad. I don't do drugs. Water needle. And there's a small little hole in the back here, which you can use for hydration. I'm just going to put that in here a little bit, not too far. And we will see. Well, there's a little bit of an issue here. It leaks. But, oh, I did it a little bit too much. It'll be okay. You know, a little bit of overhydration won't exactly do that bad. But I did make a recommendation to him already, and that is to make this ground area plaster. So, like, make it a few millimeters deeper, and then replace the ground with a little bit of plaster. More like aesthetic ants, I guess. That way, if spillovers do happen, or even they might be intentional, instead of, you know, like, absolutely getting soaked like I just did there, now I have to clean it off with my shirt, it can just soak into the plaster, and then, well, it's fixed. They can also then have more of an evenly dispersed hydration area, which I was thinking about doing before I saw the fact that this area here is, there's not really that big of a area, so I'd have to be really careful when pouring in that plaster to make sure not to pour in too much. Yeah. But other than that, the hydration seems to be working relatively well. It is, the thing here is rather moist, although I think I am going to use a little bit more water and see exactly how much I can fill this area up with. Well, it appears that, okay, so this was all the way up to about here. It is now down to here. So I think it should take around about, I can't really read this from here. Oh, that's because it was broken. About 1 milliliter of water in this little thing. Which, in my opinion, is a little bit low because that's going to evaporate relatively fast. So this is a nest that you're probably going to have to water relatively often. So I'll definitely tell him about that. So that way it doesn't, you know, you don't end up drying out, or if you have to go on a trip, it doesn't end up dehydrating the ants at all. But other than that, it's a relatively good-looking nest. Of course, the design is perfect. I do have to say that. I just think that this chamber, this water chamber, should get rid of this wall and just make it go over here a little bit. That way that it actually has a full, what's the word I'm looking for? A full coverage of the area. Or what you could do is put plaster inside of the chambers here. That way it would disperse across the entire area. Either way, though, current design, it's not that bad, especially for being, as I said, extremely experimental. This is still being, made. It's still being, attempted on, experimented on. I'm sorry about my birds. They're going off in the background. But, I mean, yeah, it's pretty good overall. Okay, so I'm going to try to move these ants into here. Wish me luck. Oh my goodness, the birds are going insane. And off of the tripod we go. Here they are, inside of their new outworld. There should be a worker out. Oh no, they decided to go out. As you can see, the nest is already all connected up here. Colony here, nest there, a little bit of tubing there. Overall, this is going to be the setup once they end up moving in. It might take them a few days to move in because, as you can see, their water is pretty much brand new. But if that is the case, that doesn't really matter. They can take however long they want. And I will now have to move them from here to up there. Alright, so just got up here again, and I'm going to now check on how they're exactly moving. As of right now, you can see there's a few workers in here. Going pretty nicely. I actually ended up dumping them. I see no brood out, so... Yep, would you look at that. Wow, they look really nice in that nest. They look so nice in that nest, man. That's so cool. So yeah, it looks like they don't really actually want to be by the water chamber, which is exactly what I predicted. They more or less want to be next to the heat source. But yeah, it looks like they have moved in quite nicely into the nest. And yeah, this is a pretty nice looking nest. Now I'm gonna attempt to do some macro footage and see how it looks like that. So yeah. As a person who does YouTube and all sorts of stuff, it is really important to me that the glass is clear and that you can get a very clear photo or image or video of your ants when they're inside of the nest. As you can see here, you can see very clearly their colors pop so much with the white on the background. It is absolutely beautiful. You can see all the brood, even inside of the tubing they have brood piles for some reason. Don't really understand that. They're relatively big brood piles too. Sorry, my dog was getting off of the bed, so made a bunch of noise there. Anyways, you can see the colors of the queen have popped a whole lot more. You can see the colors of the majors a whole lot better as well when they're, young like this. Overall, it's pretty good. As I was recording the ants, I ended up actually thinking about possibly doing some type of rating system when it comes to these nests. So I guess I'll just rate pretty much a line of, what are my favorite nests and not. So here's how that list probably goes, as of right now. So as you can see right now, you have arthropod antics on the top, tar heel ants at a pretty close second. Then below that you have GreatNorthAnts, and then you have Ants Canada. These are the three nests that I mainly use, or well, GreatNorthAnts just got added to that list, of course. I haven't really reviewed the other two, but as you've seen in the videos, I do use Ants Canada and Tar Heel Ants a lot, but Arthropod Antics is still my very big preferred nest, mainly because you can get really great footage. I would put down the actual nest name, but I cannot exactly remember it as of recording this and as of editing this, so I don't know. I just put it under what is YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram is GreatNorthAnts Nest. But yeah, as you can see, it's done pretty good. Overall, this colony has moved in rather nicely, though, as you probably could have seen from the footage. There is the colony. And, oh, I'm sorry, I turned up the brightness there. There we go. The white on white for this really makes their colors pop very much. You see, the nest isn't actually that big, but it's because of it being so spacious, you get a good amount of room either way. This colony is... I honestly don't know how many members, to be honest, because I've never counted. But it's a rather interesting amount. You can see they have majors and all that, mainly because of a brood boost, but... the colony's gonna do good in here, I feel. Overall, though, eventually I probably will do a video, hold on, revisiting this product, as the days go on with the second Novaborkensis colony. So yeah. I guess I will end the video here. If you guys like the video, like it if you like it, dislike it if you dislike it, subscribe if you're new, check out the Instagram, Patreon, link in the description is going to show the this person's nest, Mr. GreatNorthAnts. Very chill dude. After meeting him in real life, I noticed that super chill. So, yeah, I highly recommend doing this, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Check out the Patreon, check out Instagram, I already said that, check out the link in the description, yada 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 yada, Discord, yeah, I've already done this so many times. Alright, goodbye.